points as we go.
Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
What is up? It is the best time of the year if you're a fan of the National Hockey League, and chances are if you're watching this, you probably are. Stanley Cup playoffs about to get underway. Just a programming note, yes, we will do the barbecues at the house again. Yes, we will do the watch parties. And yes, our next guest is invited if he can make it. He's a very, very busy man. I was joking with him before we went on. I think we're going to waste about 5 minutes naming all his titles. So instead, I'll tell you he's the head coach of the Northville Mustangs. He is the president of the Coaches Association, and he's one of the general managers of Team Michigan. If you weren't aware of what's happening this weekend, we'll have it for you on State Champs and Local 4+. Great to be partnered with our friends from WDIV, but the above aforementioned coach, Ryan Ossenmacher, kindly joining us. First of all, Ryan, always a pleasure to chat with you, my friend. Exciting times in the world of high school hockey, to be sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our end of the year showpiece kind of recap. Give people the opportunity to see what high school hockey is all about. And it's, first game's going on to the right of me right here. So if you see my turn my head once in a while, it might be something going on the ice. But yeah, it's my favorite time year. You got obviously you have this going on, NHL playoffs. It's just we had the Minnesota in a week. Like, good time to be a hockey fan.
Mike, before we get to what you have for Coach Ossenmacher, explain to people what Team Michigan is. Maybe, you're a high school fan, you know all about it. This has certainly been on the radar for a few years, but to the average fan out there that maybe is just getting into it, hopefully from some of the chatter we've been doing, talking up this great product, explain what Team Michigan is and this exciting trip you guys are about to embark on.
Yeah, so Team Michigan's been going on for quite a while now. Actually, Coach Mitchell just brought in a packet of information that his dad had typed up for Team Michigan in 1986. So the process has been going on for a while. Really cool, right? It used to go to Chicago, and then the last 15, 16 years now we go to Minnesota. And so the process is basically right as soon as the season stops is over, we have the state finals. That following week we have regional tryouts. One up north in Gaylord, one on the west side in Grand Rapids, and then one Metro Detroit, Livonia. This year we had over 400 players from Michigan high school hockey, seniors, juniors, and sophomores try out. From that, we narrow it down to our top 80, so top 40 seniors, top 40 juniors/sophomores, and we have a festival out in Chelsea. That's a new addition as of about 3 years ago. Terrific hockey, gives 80 guys the experience to play at a high level in front of a lot of people. From there, we narrow it down to 20 seniors and 20 juniors. And then that's where we are right now. So we're in training camp in Novi. You might see the Novi Youth Hockey Association logo behind me. I'm sitting in their office right now. And with that, our guys go through a group of practices, meetings, team bonding, everything to get them together and be ready as possible. Couple of games. So one tonight, one tomorrow, which you guys will be broadcasting, which is a new addition. That's fantastic. And then we head out to Minnesota on Wednesday. Where we compete against other states in similar capacities. So Minnesota, Wisconsin, Colorado, North Dakota. So, this year we've got two really talented teams. I'm looking at the lineup sheets here. We've got a handful of tenders already in the books and more that will come after this is all over.
As you said, you got a ton of talent out there, Coach. You've got the vantage point. You're there today. Anything or anybody sticking out to you today?
I think when you look at the senior group, there are 5 tenders on that list. There would have been 6. Unfortunately, Isaac Nelson, who was a Flint draft pick, was hurt yesterday in practice and won't be able to compete. But so when you look at that list, you have Ian Castamo. He steps out right away. He's been, ever since he was a freshman, something that people have noticed in high school hockey. So he's a guy, I think his future is really bright. I think Owen Hall just recently signed his tender, Stevenson guy. He's the prototypical power forward. I think he plays with a bunch of jam. When you get out to Minnesota, the game picks up, the physicality picks up. It's not a lot of whistles one way or the other. So When you look up front, I think this group has the ability to do that. You've got Dom Chappett from Salem. Kid can get up and down the ice and score. On the back end, we've got Callan Ray from TC West. He's an Aberdeen tender. He was on the team last year. I was fortunate to coach Alex McCallum for the last 2 years. I think he's one of the best defensemen around. And then in net, I think Lansky, obviously, this year was outstanding. And then Will Keane, he's 6'3". Like, that brings eyes to you right there. So the senior team's pretty, I think, well-rounded. So as far as the junior group, I think they think this is the fastest group they've had in a while. And so right now we're looking at a 0-0 score in the seniors and juniors. But in terms of the junior group, they feel like they've got to play with a ton of pace. When you look at guys like Aiden Cook, I mean, I think this year when you watched him in his game, I mean, that kid gets around. Like, his first 2 or 3 strides, he separates himself. And then you've got some bigger bodies up front, like Luke Storm from Howell. I think, you saw the run that they went on. And then on the back end, you have Chad Patilla from Howell as well. I think his ceiling is super high. So I like him a lot. And then Colin Strobel from Stevenson as well. Like, he's another high-end offensive guy. So anyway, those are just naming a few. They're all good hockey players, but just some of the guys right now.
It goes to show you again, and Mike and I have talked about this so much, not only here, but obviously on state champs and everywhere we can, the amount of talent playing at this level in the state. Ryan, you and I have talked about this 10,000 times, but let's make it 10,001. I don't think the average human understands the amount of talent that is playing at this level in the great state of Michigan, and how difficult it is to whittle it down to these 2 teams. There are a heck of a lot of guys that were worthy, but in the end, you've got to build that team. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reality is that if you get cut from Team Michigan, it doesn't signify the end of your hockey career. Cooper Black, NHL draft pick, college goalie. I mean, he was cut. Like, and you look back, even it wasn't Team Michigan, but as part of a staff that we cut Connor Hellebuck from Metro West state games, right? I mean, and he seems to have done pretty well for himself. So, getting it down to this level, the piece that sometimes people don't understand, and I get it, is that this is about building a team to go out there and win. And so when you have the discussions in the room, and it's tough on the coaches, right? I mean, number one is they're all volunteers. I mean, nobody here is getting paid the big bucks to do this. So they're putting their neck out on the line to make these decisions. And there is pushback on occasion, but they're looking at building a team. What guy can kill penalties? What guy can be in this spot on a power play? What guy can win draws? It's not an all-star team in that sense. And so I think that's an important piece to understand. But every year, there are guys who get cut as a junior and they come back out, they get better, and then they make it as a senior. So like that speaks to the growth of high school hockey. And then to your point, just the product, we don't have necessarily a product issue in high school. We have a perception issue. We have from a youth level up that we have people that don't necessarily know, and it's not their fault. They just don't know the level that we have. And one is they can watch tomorrow and see. But the product, I mean, right now, if you're to watch this, it's pretty high level hockey. And tomorrow, we're fortunate to have you broadcast it, but it'll be open to the masses to see how fast and physical this brand is.
Ryan, we had a chance to sit down and talk a little bit in Livonia at the very first skates, and we talked a little bit of some of the worries that some coaches had if they couldn't get kids onto Team Michigan, talk a little bit about perception. But let's turn that to a positive way. What are some positive impacts that some of these programs can get from having some players land on Team Michigan? You having a couple of players on the roster this year, it's got to be a positive impact.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the rosters on the senior team this year, there are 15 different programs represented. And I think there's something like 14 on the junior team. And so, we had a meeting this morning with a young man. We were just kind of talking through, and we were talking about the idea of what this means for his program. The idea that, a smaller program in terms of the size of the school, it makes the team. What does that mean for the talent is spread out throughout the state? And so, I would challenge our coaches at the high school level as well to show up to the skates and be there and, volunteer to help out and do all those things. Because the more hands on deck, the better we can make this product. So Yeah, I think when a kid makes it, there's other people back, especially when they're juniors, are going to come back and share those stories of how great of an experience this was. I mean, these guys are getting coached. I mean, this isn't just coming out here to play in some games. I mean, they're running through their system packages and video, and I was watching practices this morning. I mean, they're getting coached, and so these kids are getting better by being here.
Love every second of it. You have an opportunity to be a part of it. We cordially invite you to Novi tomorrow, as Coach Ossenmacher said. 1:15 is the warm-up. So you're going to drop the puck about 1:25, Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. I forget the exact time.
Yeah, so 1:15 on ice, 5-minute warm-up, intro anthem, puck drop. So about 1:20, 1:25 official start time.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the coaches as well. Let's start with the senior team. Micah Stipik, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Joe Ford, a guy who's done so much behind the scenes on the coaches committee as well, and Ricky DeSana. You get somebody from Mid-Michigan, somebody from the UP, and certainly the very hockey mad downriver area as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's again, it's each year the staff's changed just a little bit. Some of these guys have been around for a while, and then for example, Ricky, this is his first year, and it's great. I went in the locker room this morning. I was listening to him talk special teams, and as a coach, like, I love it because I'm learning too. I'm learning different things, the way they teach things, the way they say things, and so I think that's a pretty dynamic staff. I think Micah, like you said, he's just a genuinely good human being coming down from the UP. I mean, he's given up his time, obviously, to come and stay down here. And then Joe Ford on the back end, he's a great D coach. He's been with Team Michigan on and off for the last handful of years, so we're happy to have him back. So that's an outstanding staff, and again, I think the guys here are fortunate to have them.
All right, you said over 400 skaters this year. It seems every year I get out there, it's more and more. Can this get bigger? And one thing I've noticed this year, a little bit more of a social media presence. Is that a little bit of a push to get out there, maybe get some more kids out?
Yeah, 100%. That kind of goes back to that perception issue, right? I mean, the more that we can navigate the social media waters of spreading the message to the people, and yes, I mean, in terms of spreading this, I mean, there is a world that we will be able to somehow move this into the fall, not this fall, but the hope is in 26. What that looks like, this sort of a in motion piece. But the idea being is that the more we can get our best on best together here in Michigan high school hockey, the more eyes it brings. But more than that, it helps our players develop, and then we have more players that move on, right? And that's why these guys are here. They want to move on, and there are so many different avenues. Everyone's path is different. There's so many different junior leagues, and there's so many different college opportunities. And again, so the more we can do this as opposed to just after the season, which is great. But if we can somehow build this into a fall, build into the season, which is kind of our goal, I think then, we continue to grow and grow and grow. And that 400 number, because this year we invited sophomores. And so I think with us, we've already talked, like, that was a great first step. But how do we take it next year even further? Do we have just a sophomore event where they participate and then we take the top sophomores and then we bring them to the festival and they have their own thing? And then we find, because again, our sophomores that are out there, like, what a great experience. They still have 2 years of high school left, so it's always building, it's always getting better, so I'm excited to hear spring.
Once again, Coach Ossenmacher kindly joining us, head coach at Northville, president of the Coaches Association, one of the general managers for Team Michigan. Hey, check it out tomorrow. If you can't get out to Novi, we'll have it for you on the State Champs Network and certainly Local 4+ as well. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the junior coaching staff as well. Is Coach Mitchell said to me, getting the band back together, Ryan, David Mitchell, a couple guys from his tree, so to speak, Keith Robertson, who did such a fantastic job at Howell this year, and Coach Sagata, who has done good things as well at Saline. Pretty darn good group to head that junior team.
Yeah, I mean, really cool for Dave, right? I mean, he's heading off into the sunset and to the western part of our country to further his hockey and so coaching. And I think for him to be able to coach with these guys that he coached with for so long at Stevenson, good for him. And like you said, you've got two coaches with Keith. Keith just won Division I Coach of the Year, which was completely well deserved for him. I mean, Howell had a terrific season, losing in the state finals. And then Zagata at Saline. So I think it's again, it's a group that's doing. I mean, I'm watching Dave point and shout right now. I mean, there's a lot of coaching going on, and so and he shared a great story too about how he and Z were talking about a new D zone coverage and how they were going to do this years ago, and his dad walked in and said, "There's been a defenseman in front of the net for 50 years, and you two idiots think you know better." And I was dying because I'm like, that's classic. Right? So these are the things as a coach that I enjoy being a part of this too, because it's just get to be around guys and their element of coaching. And so yeah, two terrific staffs, and again, just they're volunteering their time. They're here, they love it. It's this is where the purity of hockey is on display. You see it in certain parts of our country. It's sometimes not often enough here in Michigan, but here you see a bunch of guys that just love this game, and they're here for the right reasons. So it's that's why I keep doing it. It's easy to come back each year when that happens.
Mike, I'll give you the last question, and we'll tell everybody where they can check it out tomorrow.
All right, Coach. I believe you told me that this is going to be your first trip out to this tournament, correct?
My first trip out
to with Team Michigan, right? To see this. Is this your first time out there?
No. This is probably my 15th time.
Okay, so, then this is going to change my question. I misheard what you had said.
Hold on. We won it 2 years ago, and then I was like, I'm done coaching this. So I'm going to sit up. I don't have to worry about game planning. I get to sit up here and critique. Like, it's great. This is my 15th year, I think, or 16th. So yeah.
That's my bad. Then I'll change it to. What is there one player? I know you mentioned some of the top guys on those rosters. Is there one player that you're really excited outside of your guy, Alex McCollum, to see him play against this talent that's going to be out there in Team Wisconsin and Team Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm going to name two. I'm going to name one from each group. And so Castamo is one for me on the senior group. And it's when people look at him, like, size is going to be the thing right away they talk about, because he is undersized for what a prototypical hockey player is. But I think for him, he thinks the game so well. Like, he plays, in my mind, in the future. And I don't mean that like in this weird way. I just mean that guys who play in the future, they anticipate where the puck's going. They anticipate where defensively the puck's going next. And so for him, I think he's going to have the ability to showcase that. And the other part too is that he's surrounded by guys that he's going to elevate. And so, playing with him, he's going to have the opportunity to make the guys around him even that much better than they already are. So I'm excited to see him out there and see how he competes. And because I just think, man, does he think the game so well. And then Aiden Cook on the junior side. Again, I mentioned him earlier, but his ability, I think, to separate, like his first 2 or 3 strides, he moves. And so I'm excited to see those two guys out there and see what they can do. But, for me, I'm excited to go out there and honestly be up in the stands. Because when you're behind the bench, sometimes obviously you get lost in the emotions of it and you lose sort of perspective of what's going on sometimes. And for me, just to be up there, and be able to watch from a distance and watch our guys, I'm just, as a coach, I'm proud. Like as a guy who's been in high school hockey now for almost 20 years, I'm proud of our guys when they're out there. I was at just short story. I was at Ohio University this past weekend, and former Team Michigan player Alex Mazuka is there. I met up with him and had lunch with him, and he's playing for OU now, one of the top club teams in the country. And the rink on campus, they sell out all their games, and we're just talking about everything. And I'm super excited when guys move on, and you see guys like Nick Blankenberg playing the NHL. I watched a highlight of him, this no-look pass and a power play, guys like that, and it's like, this is what this is about. So that there's gonna be guys from this roster that move on. It's just exciting to see who that's gonna be. So
no doubt about it. Excited for tomorrow. Again, if you can make it out to Novi, we'd love to have you out there. If you can't, we got you covered. Why don't you join us? Mike Iavasile, yours truly, on the broadcast. We'll have the juniors versus the seniors. We go on about 1:15. Puck drop about 1:20, 1:25 as we see the boys off and wish them all the best in Minnesota. Coach, thanks for everything you do. Really looking forward to this. And I was joking with some of the guys at the rink. It'll be high school season soon before you know it. And we'll help you out and talk it up in any way we can.
Absolutely. We'll see you up here tomorrow. And again, tune in. It's going to be good hockey. Appreciate it, guys.
Outstanding. Coach Ryan Ossenmacher kindly joining us here on What the Puck. Mike, always a pleasure to do a broadcast with you. And now a lot of people have been waiting for this. We'll get into our playoff predictions in a second. But Mike, such a fun thing that we have an opportunity to work together first and foremost. But, when you see that much talent on the ice, I'm really, really looking forward to it.
I couldn't be more excited. I remember we've talked about this now probably for a couple of years trying to get this game. And then when we pitched it to our man Watson and he came through and got us this game, I don't know if people understand how good of a game this is. The talent is there, but when you get here, this is not a scrimmage. This isn't the juniors and sophomores out here playing patty cake, Sean. We have seen some nasty games out here where it is junior level competition and physicality, and I couldn't be more excited to get this going tomorrow.
No doubt about it. So again, would love to see you out in Novi. Say hello. You can buy Mike and I popcorn. We're both a hockey rink popcorn connoisseurs. We literally had a competition during the year. We're not going to reveal our results. Maybe next year that's something we delve into a little bit. But there was a unanimous choice for the best hockey rink popcorn. I'll leave it at that. But Mike, I know a lot of people want to get into the playoff projections as well. We will get into that. First, I want to tell you about our friends at Legacy Partners. Did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents. They provide a full-service one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. And if I know these guys are all going to be watching the Stanley Cup playoffs as well, I know they will. Legacy has helped our listeners by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you and save you some money. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're probably paying too much and you could be underinsured. What are you waiting for? Do like we did. Give Legacy Partners a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, or your business insurance needs. Call them today, 586-209-4106, or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quote. I just saw the same picture that you saw, Mike, and that doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form. All right, I'm going to try to get some of these comments in there before we get to you guys and we start talking. Dave said, what is your take on the Maple Leafs this playoff go around? Ted, good evening, fellas. Let's go Blues. Bill said, do Canadians boo the American anthem throughout the 2025 NHL playoff? If the Canadian boo our anthem, Americans surely will follow suit. Very intriguing. Gosh, it's so sad when we do that. You're the man, Sean Bailey. No, you're the man, Dave Payne. Sorry I didn't get to that, Paul. Western Michigan Natty. Yes, Mike, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Broncos. What a great story. I mentioned it earlier in the year. I had a bunch of guys on Michigan State tell me who was, a number one team for a good portion of the year. They said Western was the most difficult team they played. And what do you know? It's Western Michigan that goes and wins the Natty.
Oh yeah, and difficult's the right thing to say. That's just a tough, that grinded out physical team, and then they worked themselves right in. And then, man, did they work BU in that last game?
Yep. East Kentwood is building an incredible indoor football practice facility opening 2026. Is this the wave of the future? High school hockey rinks next. There are some unbelievable ones, Bill, to your point. There really are some rinks. And I know I would like to see more community rinks, just one man's opinion. Ray said Jason Robertson injury in last game. Do you still like Dallas or are you leaning to Colorado? No, more on that in a second. I'm promise. Let's see. Dave said Winnipeg, Dallas coming out of the West. East Hurricanes. Ray said, how surprised you Leaf Sens are not starting on Saturday? Shocked. Personally, I think I'm not joking. I think the Battle of Ontario might be the series of the first round. And then I say, no, the Battle of Tampa is, or the Battle of Florida is. And then I say, no, Colorado and Dallas is. That's the most beautiful thing about it, Mike. Like the first round, when we were younger, the first round was it was bad more often than not. It really was. The first round has turned into a magical display of hockey, and one where you and I still have to figure out when I know we're going to get together one night during the week, and then next Saturday as well. But I mean, that's the beauty of it. Having the barbecues, knowing every day there's going to be fantastic games on.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for 2-3 weeks now, and every time we pull up the projections, and what could happen, and now that it's formulated, this is like a wet dream, Sean. This first round has the potential to be pretty amazing. It speaks to the parity right now that's going on in the NHL. And our buddy Hubie sent that text out that, of course, for some reason, my phone is broken. I can't reply to that damn thread. But he hit it on the head. Like, who you picking? Like,
right.
It could be, this is as open as it's been. Injuries have helped with that too. But this is an unbelievable first round we're looking forward to.
We're going to go series by series, and then we're going to give our predictions. I'm a firm believer that if the prediction you make at the beginning of the season, you should stick with. And I'm going to break that tonight. I'm just telling you right now. I am going to break that tonight. Bill said that Jack working the Tiger game tonight. He starts Monday. He starts with the Padres on Monday. So that's pretty cool. Battle of Ontario, Battle of Florida, Battle of Rantanen, and then the Groundhog Day series of LA and Edmonton. This is the year, Mike. This is the year of the Kings. This is the year, okay?
My Kings are doing it.
Jets and Blues. I know everybody and their brother are expecting the Winnipeg Jets to go Jets at some point in time. The Blues were as hot as anybody down the stretch. Mike, with that being said, I don't see the Blues pulling this upset off.
No, I said it a few weeks ago after the Wings played the Blues and got beat by it. I just don't like the Blues team. I don't like it. There's nothing there. He didn't go Binghamton in the Four Nations, but he's going to at some time. And yes, Hellebuck will go Hellebuck and Winnipeg will Winnipeg, but not here in the first round.
No, I don't see it. Stars and Avalanche, again, one of the marquee ones. I mean, make no mistake about it. That is also a Saturday start. That is tomorrow at 8:30. So the good news for guys like you and I, we're done with our broadcast. We can go to Jets and Blues and then Stars and Avalanche. I'm going to grab a coin and I'm going to flip it. And that's who I'm taking to win this series. That's how I feel about it, especially after the injury that you mentioned, Jimmy. Honestly, Mike, this is a series that could go either way.
Yeah, it's just two heavyweights. This is one that, me, I'm in bed before the streetlights come on. I rarely see games that are on late. I'm not missing the series, Sean.
No,
I'm going to be in the basement. The 70-inch is going to pop. I'm going to be all by myself, a couple of beers, and I can't wait. This is just going to be great hockey.
Do you know who is completely flying under the radar, and I can't quite understand it? Is the team that won a Stanley Cup just a couple of years ago, the Vegas Golden Knights. In my mind, it just seems like nobody is talking about them, and I don't quite get it. Mike, I really liked Minnesota earlier in the season. To say that they faded would be a gross understatement. I think the Knights have no problem taking care of the Wild in round one.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Minnesota got healthy. They're going to look a little bit more like the Minnesota that you fell in love with in the beginning of the year. But I agree with you, and it always scares me when people stop talking about a team.
Yep.
And they just come out of nowhere. It's the Vegas Golden Knights. They just won the Cup, Sean. They're going to be dangerous. So but they get past Minnesota.
How about this? Cornstalker, I have tickets to Game 2 of the Wild in Vegas. So excited that 8 o'clock local start is late. Go Knights. That's pretty cool, though.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm envious of you. Hey, very quickly, before we get to one that is near and dear to Mike's heart, let's tell you about Lindsay Broadwell. When it comes time to get yourself a house, whether you're buying, selling, or both, you need to contact the right agent. Who do we recommend? That young lady right there, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you will ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business. Now, when it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyer, seller, even first-time buyer, it doesn't matter. Make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She will help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Mike, the LA Kings, Edmonton Oilers. It seems like deja vu all over again. Yogi Berra. Is this the year that the Kings knock off the Oilers? I mean, at some point in time, Skinner's going to remember he's Skinner, right? Is this the year?
Well, we said that all last year, right? And they make it to Game 7. Unfortunately, again, I always have a big ticket on LA to win the cup because I love the way they play hockey the last couple of years. I just can't see it. Now, I just don't know how healthy Edmonton is, but if Edmonton is fully healthy and they've got Draisaitl, they've got McJesus, everyone's playing well, I've got to stick with one of my early picks, obviously, which was Edmonton, going all the way. So I have to take Edmonton here.
I think Edmonton could make it all the way back, Mike. I do. I have to be honest with you. I think they could make it all the way back.
Yeah,
and
good.
I'm trying to remember where I read it. Was it the Hockey News write-up? And they said if they can get past LA, I have a feeling that Edmonton's going to make it back into the finals. By the way, Skydog said, when did Vegas join the league? 2017, 2018. And they gave them such a wonderful welcome to the NHL package that they had to turn around and, pardon my language, fuck the Kraken when the Kraken came in as the next expansion team. Mike, they did. I mean, they absolutely screwed them. Eastern Conference is absolutely wacky and zany. Let's start with Maple Leaf and the Ottawa Senators. Ray, no offense to you, buddy. I don't know how you could be offended when you think of Toronto's lack of success in the playoff. Mike, I've tried many ways to try to say that the Senators are going to win this series. I think they're going to push Toronto. I think they're going to bully Toronto. I don't think they're going to beat Toronto.
You couldn't have said it better. I were in the same boat on this one. And I think this is going to be very telling, as we were talking before we went on the air. And I just said, Toronto has to, right? Like, we know they won't, but I know where I have them picked going. This is going to be the series that tells you how far Toronto's going to go. And what I'm saying is, if Toronto really struggles with Ottawa, it's done. It's over, whether they get past Ottawa or not. But if they handle them and Craig Berube has this team come in and play like a playoff hockey team, this could be the year that they actually win a couple series.
Skydog said, Sean, who would you pick if Washington played Toronto? I think Toronto. I'm not buying into Washington. I give them all the credit in the world. Now I think they're going to beat the Habs. We'll skip ahead to that. I really do. I'm not being Habs slappy and trying to downplay it and everything. I think Montreal's going to push them more than some people give them credit for. I'll say 6, but I don't know how Washington's done it. I've watched them all year. I'm not being funny. I don't know how they do it. They've done a fantastic job, but this is like a Brian Murray era Washington Capital team, Mike.
And the only thing I can say is, and we've said this all year, we've talked about this team. This team was terrible to watch last year. We don't know how they did it last year, and they were awful. It's basically the same team. They added a couple scrub middle guys here or there. This is all coaching and obviously a buy-in from the locker room. And if there's one thing we know about an Alex Ovechkin Capitals team is they get along. They have good bonding. They go out to the bars and sing karaoke, before he scores goals. And that is big, and that can go far. When a team bonds like this, you hear it every year with the team that won the Stanley Cup. Like, it's the locker room. It's the locker room.
Carberry's done such a fantastic job there. You cannot deny it. I just don't think they have the horses to make the long run. By the way, Toronto over Ottawa and how many, Mike?
There's no way it can be anything less than like a 6 or 7 game series. There's just no. This is going to be grimy.
Yep, I'm going to say 6. I'm going to say Toronto knocks them off in Ottawa. How's that?
Yeah. Okay, I like it.
Habs and Caps. It's funny. I have I have a buddy in the media business. You guys may know who he is, Greg Cantor, the longtime executive producer at Fox 2. And the first thing he did after the Habs beat Carolina the other night was say, don't you 2010 me again. And Mike, I said, there's no way in hell because, as you remember, Yaroslav Halak was unbelievable. He really was. He was phenomenal. Monten Blows is not that guy. Dobish, maybe if he gets the opportunity, I don't know, maybe he could go on a heater. I just think a big fat not yet for the Habs. I mean that in all sincerity.
Yeah, Montembeault is shaky at best. He's one of the shakier goalies in the NHL right now that just gets a ton of times. But I don't think they're going to go to Dobish. You know that, right? They want Montembeault to be the guy. They're just right now, Sean. The one thing they don't have going for them is Montreal's just too young. They're too young. They're too inexperienced. We saw that in that losing streak all the way up to that last game. I mean, Lane Hudson looked all of the young kid that he is. He looked like the rookie, and some of the other guys too. So I mean, they're going to push them because they're good. They're good and they're fast. But yeah, I like 5 or 6 games.
I'm a big fan of Ivan Demidov. I don't.
Oh, jeez. How about that goal, though? How about that goal? I told you I was taking it.
I know somebody who told you. The only thing I got wrong is it was going to be the winner. How's that?
Yeah.
Our buddy John in Windsor. Nice to see you, buddy. John said, nice to hear Toronto in your pick. It will be the Leafs' second playoff series win in 21 years. Stolars and Tanev are huge additions that will help the group a lot this year. Berube has them playing the right way. Let me ask you guys who are Leaf fans, okay? This is my perception, and Mike, I don't know if you feel the same way. Better, yes. Marner, do you still have the questions? Yes. Poppy, do you still have the questions? Yes. I don't want to call them Charmony soft because I think that's reserved for the Rangers, but Leafs are still a little soft, aren't they?
They're Leafs, yes. Absolutely. That is why when this series is over, if you are still talking and laughing about how soft they are, you know they're not getting past the second round. But if you're like, oh, wait, Berube's got these guys playing, and they're doing the things that you have to do to win that cup, which they have never done.
Right.
And it could be scary.
How long before Hudson gets introduced to Tom Wilson in one of his big hits? He better not do some of his dancing around Willie. Willie grew up a big Habs fan, but Willie will bury him. He will bury him. Paul said it's better, but it certainly isn't Florida night gritty. Okay, fair enough. Lightning and Panthers, Mike, we've talked about this for the last couple months. Every time you grab a shovel full of dirt and want to bury the Tampa Lightning, you see the hand stick out of the grave. Really. I mean, honestly, it reaches straight up, the whole serpent in the rainbow, don't bury me, I'm not dead yet. It is unbelievable how the Lightning finished the series. And quite frankly, I think there's a reason why a lot of people think they're going to knock off the defending Stanley Cup champion in the first round.
I'm one of them. I agree 100%. Me and Sebi went through our picks today. He made me fill out a whole bracket thing, and I have Tampa going. And it's not just the injuries. I just like the way Tampa is playing, and there's something about their game. Cooch is, top 2, 3 guys in the league, and he's playing outstanding right now. Florida's not playing that good, and I said it to you a couple weeks ago, Sean. Me and you both agreed. Marchand, he looked disinterested. Didn't look like he was playing. Like it.
Really,
it was a weird accusation. When they acquired him, it was weird. You wondered how that fit was going to be. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're going to be nasty to play." They just don't look right. And I see, and I said it before, that the Cup's going to run through Florida, but I think it's going to be Tampa.
Florida had okayed too much hockey, played too much hockey in the past 3 years. They are out in the first round. Coach Cooper will take them all the way to the Cup. Vasilevsky may be the best playoff attendee at the moment. You can't forget they have one of the best goalies in the world. You just can't do it. And I think he reminded everybody. Skydog, thanks for the update. Tigers, Royals 1-1 after 3. We'll finish off our predictions in just a moment. But if you're ready to take charge of your financial future, look no further than those 2 guys right there. the brains behind the Wealth Advantage Group. They're located in historic downtown Northville. Those two brothers, over 20 years of industry experience. That's Mike Husak on the left, Jeff Husak on the right. They understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. And that's why they offer personalized, like they did for my family, expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, or already in retirement, they can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life and have clients in over 20 different states. If you haven't figured this out yet, you soon will. The investment world is a complex one, but if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, it's time to work with the experts. Reach out to my friends. That's Mike Husak and Jeff Husak at the Wealth Advantage Group, 248-773-8574, or check out their website at www.thewealthadv.com. Ray said Kachuk missed a lot, and they think he can just get back into the flow. This is the NHL, not the NBA. You can't miss that much time. I agree with you, dude. Like, no shot at the NBA intended. It's a different beast. It's a different beast. Mike, I didn't ask you, so let's just for the recap. How many do you have the Leafs win in that series in?
That's going to be 6.
All right. Capitals and Habs?
5.
Asshole. Lightning and Panthers? I have 6 in that one, by the way. I think the Habs get eliminated on home ice. So Lightning and Panthers?
7.
Doesn't that have 7?
I'm
going to go with one last ride by Florida. I'm going to say Florida wins that and then gets decimated their next series. How's that?
Okay. Deal.
Canes and Devils. Somebody brought it up earlier. This might be the most boring series. Mike, this is the most boring series. There's no might about this. This should be a boring. No disrespect. I know you love that Devil, but correct me if I'm wrong. This should be a pretty boring series. Let's be honest.
It's going to be very boring. And New Jersey's been a boring team since Hughes went out. They've really struggled with what their identity is, and you know what their identity is going to have to be in this playoff series is they're going to have to protect Markstrom. They're going to have to keep the puck out of the net. It is going to be low scoring. I don't even think there's going to be a lot of fireworks in there. And Carolina's going to be happy to play that way, and it's going to be an extremely boring series. I think New Jersey could give them troubles. I really do, just with the way they play, but Carolina is just going to be too much for them.
Paul, more on this in a second, okay? Canes have an easy route to the conference final. No disrespect, Sean. None taken. 100%. 100%. No doubt about that. All right, so Mike, just to recap the first round, and are you coming over? What are we doing? You want to do something Wednesday at my house? Is that how it's going to work? Let's look at the schedule. Or is that this is the problem. Like I've been so damn busy. I'm still trying to get all the dates down. So you can't come over Wednesday because a certain team's playing that night. Sorry, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Thursday night is the draft. Maybe Tuesday night. Do you want to do something Tuesday night?
All right.
Come over Tuesday night?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can come over and eat my meat.
Oh.
Todd, you bastard.
That was great.
Devils and Canes are at 6.
Senators, Maple Leafs
at 7:30. Panthers, Lightning at 8:30, and then they kind of screw us with a late game. But how about Tuesday night? You want to do one of the watch parties? We'll have a minor barbecue. Maybe we'll make that one Sausage Fest because we're having a big one on Saturday.
Okay, yeah, because Saturday's Kickland, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Absolutely. So yeah, Tuesday we'll just do the wieners.
I love wieners. I do. I never. When they had the sausage race at Milwaukee, Mike, my pants magically fell off. It's amazing how that they do. Whoa, look what happened there. It's amazing. What happened there?
Was Old Man Kinder sitting next to you?
I love Old Man Kinder. When you sent me that picture, that made me really, really happy. I'm not going to lie. That man's, he doesn't know. I want to write it, Dear Mr. Kinder, you have brought us much joy in our lives. You need to know that. All right, so let's very quickly, let's recap first round just to let everybody know what we're doing. Not that you guys care. Jets and Blues, I'm going Jets in 6. Jets in 5. Stars and Avalanche. Stars in 7. How's that? Stars in 7.
And I'll go Avalanche in 7.
Okay. Knights and Wild. I'm going to go. I'll go Knights in 5.
Yep, I agree.
Kings and Oilers. Mike, I'm going with you this year. LA. This is the year the Kings in 7.
Oilers in 5.
Fucking great. Maple Leaf. I'm going to say Maple Leaf. They win in Ottawa. The Canal is full of tears after Game 6.
Yes, agreed.
I had Caps over the Habs in 6. You had 5.
Yes.
A certain guy I know that wears a mask said Habs in tree. And then Canes and Devils. I'm gonna go Canes in 5.
Yeah, I can't. I just don't see many sweeps nowadays. So I agree with that. Canes in 5.
Ray said, "What do you think Bettman thinks of the 4 U.S. original 6 not in the playoffs?" I don't think it bugs him. I got to be honest with you, Ray. I don't. I think he's more intrigued with the non-traditional hockey markets. Does that make sense, Mike? I really think that's where his brain is. That's where his brain is.
Yeah, that and just long as they're making money and people are watching, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Here's an important question. I have to work that night, so that answers my question. But Ray said, which TV will have Pistons hockey and which will have the NFL draft next Thursday? I am absolutely screwed both Thursday and Friday, including for the Habs. I have to do some draft shows at Woodward, Mike. So, yeah, that's where I am in those particular nights. I know.
Are you at Woodward or are they on location?
More information on that coming short. I'll tell you where.
Yep.
How's that? I don't know if I'm at liberty to say yet, but yeah,
okay.
Pretty cool spots. We'll give it at that. So, do you like that teams are preventing fans from getting tickets to games on the road? That doesn't bother me. I just doesn't bother me. I think it's been happening for a long time. It's just more publicized. Does that make sense? Mike, who was your pick at the beginning of the year? I had Florida over Dallas at the beginning of the year. Do you remember who your pick was at the beginning of the year?
You know I'm not going to remember, but I do have a memory of saying that the East was going to go through Florida, and I really like Tampa, and I've been on Edmonton, and I think Edmonton beats Tampa.
Are you that's where you are this year?
Yeah.
Right now? Okay, I'm changing mine. I'm scratching mine. I am going to go the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Vegas Golden Knights over Carolina. And Paul, I'm with you. I think their path is better. My biggest problem with Carolina, and this goes back to when I did games for them, is their goaltending has been shaky. But Mike, honest to goodness, who in the East right now makes you go, ooh? You know, I'm not being funny. Other than Vasilevsky, of course. Other than Vasilevsky, there's nobody that just sends a shiver down my spine. So I'm going to take Carolina.
Yep, and you're going to laugh. The only team, and I agree with you, that I think QB hit it right on the head with that text in our thread, would be if Maple Leaf plays the hockey right. If they play it right, they would be the only team that stands out there to me. No one else really stands out to me. I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. Now, with that said, I go Tampa and Edmonton. However, and listen to my words real carefully, it would be really grand if it was Washington versus LA. I'm just saying.
Great. How about Ray? Could you imagine this? No, I'm serious. Could you imagine this? Leafs in Winnipeg in the finals.
Oh,
I mean, literally the poster child, the longtime poster child for failing. I mean, no shot, guys. You know I'm speaking factually. You'll know what I'm shooting at you. The longtime poster child for failing in the playoffs versus the team that 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago now, the Hockey News proclaimed was going to win multiple Stanley Cups and continue to gag each and every year. That would be epic final. Mike, all jokes aside, could you imagine Toronto and Winnipeg in the final? That would be unbelievable.
That would be an unbelievable atmosphere. Canada would burn down, and I wouldn't even venture across the border to talk hockey ever again, because I wouldn't want to hear them talk about it. But yeah, it would be must watch. I mean, come on.
For all you huge old time hockey fans, Mike, I'm going to put you on the spot, but this is a question for everybody. When was the last all Canadian final? Anybody off the top of their head?
Yeah.
Way to go, Michael. I didn't like the way that one ended. I liked the way that it had ended 3 years earlier. I did. I liked the way that ended in 86. But yes, that was the last all-Canadian final. Let's see. Stolars might surprise you. Paul, you forget, I've seen Stolars many, many times over the years. I was still doing OHL games when he made the jump from the WCHA, if I recall, to the London Knights and became a member of the Knights. And they had an epic series. And Tom Wilson, it was the best I've ever seen Tom Wilson play in that series. They couldn't stop him. Unfortunately, London was too deep and ended up banging him in that season. Ray said, Marner is playing for his next contract. He will put on his best showing Draisaitl type run. He's got to answer the bell, though, Ray. I mean, let's face it. You know it. I know it. Poppy's got to answer the bell. I've said this for years now. For all the shit that Toronto gets, I don't think they put the shit where it belongs. I think Marner started to hear it a little bit last year. Poppy and Marner, though, are the guys that probably deserve the most shit. They really are. And I thought it was unfair to one particular member of the Big Four, Mike, to get so much shit, where he was the least of their problems in a few of those flameouts.
Oh, absolutely. We've sat on your couch and watched them and talked about it and laughed about it, those two. And you've hit it right on the head, and people, they'll never admit it. They'll never talk about it, but that's exactly what it is. And that is what has me the most intrigued about watching it. What are they? Marner's a nothing in my book. I can't. I just can't see it in him. It is going to be Matthews. And the way the Four Nations Cup ended, like he's got a lot to prove. And I want to see Berube get that guy playing. I want to see some I know you don't. I want to see some Toronto Maple Leaf hockey.
When they blew that series to the Habs in 2021, I'll say it again. Every time Nylander was on the ice, it terrified me. Like every time he was on the ice. I mean, it was like especially in Game 7, it was so apparent that he was their best player. It was actually kind of funny. And I get it. A lot of people, you're not going to take shots at Matthews, and Marner only in the last year started to get the shots. But let's face it, Ray, to your point, you want to change a narrative? He's got a golden opportunity to change a narrative. And I don't know if you saw what Don Cherry had to say, Mike. He's right. If Marner puts it all together, he's back in Toronto. If Marner flames out again later, he's going someplace else. Right? You can't continue that marriage. You just can't continue that marriage.
That's 100% accurate.
Yeah. Marner looked good in OT and Four Nations. Sean, you see the goal by McKenna. Will teams be tanking next season for him? Probably. The thing in the NHL, though, it kind of happens generically. You know what I mean? Really. Do the Leafs win that series if Tavares doesn't take that unfortunate knee to the head? Great question. No, seriously, back in 21. Remember that, Mike?
Yep.
Remember Tavares took that? I think the wheels were already in motion. I think what did them in, as I made this joke for years, and I'll make it again. Carey Price woke up one morning and slipped, and he banged his head, and he woke up, and he was like, oh, it's 2014, and I'm the best goalie in the world. Like, I'm convinced that's what happened, because it happened during that series, and he carried that all the way to the finals. Oh, look at our boy Jimmy coming in. Jimmy, this is wide open. Could be a year uninvited guest could get through. Personally, as I observed, Colorado could slide through. End of the day, it's goaltending, boys. If the Blues get the witness protection Jets, they could make a push. Jimmy, it's funny. Mike and I talked about so much of that. wide open. No doubt about it. Wide open. I went Vegas Canes. I think Vegas would beat the Canes, Mike. Who was your winner in your Stanley Cup match?
Edmonton.
Boy, could you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Ray, I'm with you. Marner stays with Leafs if he plays great. Utah if he struggles. Oh, would it go nuts in Edmonton? Hey, enjoy it. We're going to be doing something every week, sometimes a couple times a week. Let's be honest, Mike. But I know this next week, so now I have to inform everybody you're coming over on Tuesday. That's great. You have to inform everybody you're coming over on Tuesday. We'll sit on my couch like we have and have some discussions and taunt you with food, and then a big one next Saturday as well. One more reminder, check us out tomorrow. Mike is the analyst. I'm doing play-by-play. It's Team Michigan juniors versus seniors. But 1:15 is the broadcast time. Puck drop about 1:20, 1:25 from Novi Ice Arena. You can check it out on State Champs and Local 4+. Cool. Anything else, Mike?
No, I want to stress that people really need to watch this game tomorrow and just see how good of the hockey is with that Team Michigan. I know what you're laughing at, and Paul hit it out of the park with that one.
Don't use St. Louis from 2019 in Montreal team last place in Christmas and sneaks into the playoffs. No, Mountain blows. I'm sorry. I like. You can't put too much on the guy. You can't. And you know, I think we saw it last week. Ray, you saw it up close and personal, and I've seen it a few times this year. Dobish puts fear into you. Like, Dobish nearly won that game against the Leafs. That was a great regular season hockey game, Mike. I don't know if you watched it, the 0-0 tie, and Marner goes and wins it. There's no way on God's green earth Samuel Montembeaul's could do that. No way. No way. And I don't think they have the guts to pull the Quebecois. I really don't. I don't think they have the guts to do it. Yeah. So, all right. Anything else, Mike?
No, that's it. We'll talk in the next couple of days and plan on what we will be putting on the grill.
All right. God bless you guys. Todd, always a pleasure. Thanks to all you guys as well. Hey, listen. Do me a favor. Go check out the people that help sponsor this. Really appreciate them. We appreciate you guys as well. I wouldn't be talking about them if I didn't believe in each and every one of them. From my pal Mike, for Todd. See you later. Bye-bye. God bless. Keep hope alive.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.